meeting for March 27th. Would you please stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, roll call, please.
Yes. Trustees, Janelle Kittredge.
Here.
Dave Maher.
Here.
Ken McClafferty.
Here.
Kevin Shaughnessy.
Here.
Rick Sanowski.
Here.
Ronald Stapleton.
Here. All right, thank you, Janet. All right, next up, we have the consent agenda. The consent agenda consists of the following. We have approval of minutes from February 20th, 2023 for the Committee of the Whole, and we also have the March 13th Village Board minutes. We have approval of disbursements from March 14th through March 27th. We have an ordinance, O-09-23, amending the budget for fiscal year 2022 through 2023, amendment number 2. We have an ordinance, O-10-23, granting a special use for a trade school in the B3 Arterial Commercial District at 1243 State Street in Lamont, Illinois. We have an ordinance, O-11-23, amending Title 17 of the Unified Development Ordinance of the Village Code. And we have a resolution, R-22-23, amending R-08-22, ratifying and approving Stevens Street water main replacement, River Street to Industrial Park Drive, DCEO. I need a motion, please.
So moved.
We have a motion by trustee Snagowski, seconded by trustee Kittredge. Do we have any questions or comments regarding the consent agenda? Okay, roll call, please, Janet.
Kittredge.
Yes.
Maher.
Yes.
McClafferty.
Yes.
Shaughnessy. Snagowski.
Yes.
Stapleton.
Yes.
All right, did we hear from trustee Shaughnessy?
No, he's on mute.
Kevin, you're on mute, I should say. All right. Motion approved, regardless. All right, next up, very little to mention because it's the most important thing. We have an election coming up on April 4th. We have several elections going on here locally, from our 3 trustees to the fire department to what else we got going on? I think the library.
School boards?
Yeah, multiple school board elections going on. The Joliet Junior College as well. So again, in fact, I just voted today. Early voting is here in Lamont is on Warner Street. And of course, we have our, I believe, 4 or 5 multiple locations throughout town on Tuesday, which is Election Day. So again, want to make sure everyone gets out. With that being said, next up, we have the village attorney, or actually no clerk's report. Is that correct, Janet?
Yes, nothing tonight.
Okay,
Thank you,
thanks,
Mayor.
Janet. All right, Mike.
I don't have anything. Thank you.
Okay. Any board reports? Staff reports? Chief?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, real quick, tomorrow starts the body camera era for the Lamont Police Department. So I just completed the training at the roll call this evening, and we will have one officer on each shift piloting body cameras. We right now are in a demo period. They're going to be wearing cameras from 3 different vendors over the next 6 weeks, and then we'll get the selection committee back together, select a vendor, and then we hope to be under contract by the end of this fiscal year.
Great, thanks, Chief. Ralph, do you have anything for us?
Yes. Just a heads up for our residents. We have our water main crew that just left Logan Street, and they are now on Hillview Drive, replacing that water main over there. I wanted to remind everybody to go slow. seeing that Oakwood is over there and has school traffic in the morning and afternoon. So those guys are, they have heavy equipment over there. So give them a break and drive slow. Also, we have the new water tower. If you haven't been over there, the whole bottom of the sphere is intact. It's a pretty cool project to watch being built if you haven't been over there. But that's all I have for tonight, Mayor.
Thanks, Ralph. Appreciate it. Darshana? Nothing, all right. You talked enough last Monday, right? All right. Okay, so that's it for staff reports. Any new or unfinished business?
I got one.
Yes, Rick?
A lot of times on social media, questions are coming up about different taxing districts, and especially the junior college, which junior college do we belong to, those types of things. So anyway, just in the last couple weeks here, you would have received your new voter's registration card. And on that card, on the right-hand side, it has a list of all 8 of the taxing bodies within Lamont. And so I thought this would be a good thing to point out. Anybody has any questions, at least take a look at this first, because, for example, community college, Joliet Junior College is my particular district. I'm in Cook County, so that's what mine would be. But it also lists the high school district, grade school districts, wherever you're located, that is on this card. So that would be a good thing for everybody to know on the social media, and might take down some of the questions that pop up about it and arguments and everything else about it. So I just thought I'd mention it. Take a look at your voter's registration card.
No, good point. And also, along those lines, if you go to the Cook County Clerk.il.gov website, it'll show you the ballot that you're going to be voting on, so that way you can do your homework ahead of time. And
One more.
yeah, go ahead, Rick.
One more thing, we had published these where to park in Lamont cards. I'm not sure where they all are being distributed to, maybe in the businesses, I'm not sure, I'll find that out. But in the meantime, again, a question that pops up all the time and a comment that we need places to park. Well, according to our survey that we had a grant that Jason was able to get for us to pay for that study, we have over 1,300 spots in downtown. This particular card illustrates them, both 4-hour and 2-hour public parking spaces, along with private parking spaces. So look for this card, where to park in Lamont, Lamont downtown. It's got a little scan thing on there too you can take a picture of and put it on your phone. So again, to answer those questions, here is the answer to those questions. That's it.
I like
Thanks.
it. Oh, that's good, Rick. Jason, good job.
Yeah,
Anything to add to it?
They're in the businesses, business owners requested them, we do downtown merchants meetings, and so that was something that they requested, that they have for their customers, and we're able to deliver, and, you can go to lamontdowntown.com as well. and find
Right,
that
it's
same
also on
program.
the website, so it's available 24/7.
All right. Okay, next up, we have audience participation. Mike, you gonna handle this?
I'll handle that tonight, Mr. Mayor. The first item is we always take in comments that if they're mailed or emailed in, and we do have one before we start any other comment. This is from T. Chagowski at Gmail. Hello, I am writing in for the public comment session for tonight's board meeting. Thank you. Please read the following. My name is Travis Chagowski. I am writing and commenting in regards to the UDO and 135th Street corridor of the UDO. I would first like to start off by commending you for the creation of a dedicated open lands district. Protecting open spaces should be a priority of all communities, as once these lands are developed, there is no going back. The development of natural open land is akin to making coal out of diamonds. Open lands and green spaces for outdoor recreation have been proven to be beneficial to the physical and mental health of humans and promotes healthy lifestyles and social interactions. I would like to point out that according to the Lamont 2030 Future Land Use Plan, a large chunk of this land is east of Bell Road, away from the majority of Lamont residents. The next largest chunk of the OSNR land is along the Des Plaines River and I&M Canal. It's important to note that almost all of this land is the floodplain of the river, which is unusable and inaccessible to residents for recreation and enjoyment. It is easy to look at the map and see a lot of OS&R being dedicated, and though still important, in reality, a lot of it cannot be even utilized by the residents. I bring this up to stress the importance of protecting the open lands usable and easily accessible to residents for recreation within this district and not breaking them up with things like roads and industry. With that being said, I would like to raise a question as to why a road is shown going through the land from Smith Road to High Road through parcels included in the annexation agreement between Citgo and the village, which is supposedly being dedicated to OS&R. I thought this was supposed to be dedicated in the open lands district. There has been a major cause for concern of additional annexation and warehouse development to the west and southwest of Bambrick Park. The interest and plans for industrial development along the 135th Street corridor is documented, and this road near the land slated for the industrial development only raises more questions and concerns. I know many residents in the area are not in favor of the major developments on those properties, so if you could, please explain the purpose of this planned road, which is going to intersect open land. This land would be better off being uninterrupted and included in the open lands district, seeing as it is entirely adjacent to Bambrick Park OS&R. Thank you for your time. I think I can, I don't know if you wanted to respond, Mayor, but I can.
Yeah, so,
go ahead.
yeah, definitely. Travis, thanks for your email, and I think specifically you're talking about a road between High Road and Smith Road, and apparently you must be looking at some sort of map. There is no planned road between those two. Maybe you were looking at a map that showed the Park District Road, but George Schaefer will follow up with you, Travis, if you are listening, or if you watch this later on. We're more than happy to address your specific question. But again, you know, going back to, you know, I think we've talked about this over and over. We do have a lot of unincorporated land around us. We've had this issue to our north, to our east, more recently to our west. We have landowners that look to sell their land. And of course, they're always looking to sell their land to the highest buyer. And that buyer, unfortunately, sometimes is someone that could come in and not enter into the village. And we've had that happen many of times. We've had many users not come into Lamont. They go into a neighboring community. And the use might not be what we want, yet it's in our backyard, okay? All around us to the north, we've had open land stay outside of an incorporated village, either it be us or our neighbor, and they are able to go out and, you know, we do not want truck parking, okay? I think all of us in this room agree with that. But if we're gonna get it, or we have to swallow it, we wanna be part of it. And that's kind of what this is, you know, about on that specific area. Unfortunately, you know, right now, I think, Jason, what is there? Probably about over 2,500 truck spots, you know, probably around the canal north of us that are not in our village. Yet we got to swallow it. They go on our roads. They abuse our roads. They pay nothing to us. We get $0 of benefit. Yet we have to upkeep the roads. If there's a police incident, even though they're an unincorporated chief, who's going to there? It's not Cook County, it's Lamont Police. So, you know, again, this is what we're up against, and, you know, is this ideal? No, but that's the decision-making we have. So specific to Travis's question, George will follow up with that. Jan, if you want to, you know,
Make sure, yes.
yeah. So with that being said, Mike, I'll let you.
And now that's the remainder of any comment here in the audience. If you are interested, you can come up to the podium and you'll have 3 minutes to speak. Please identify yourself, your first and your last name for our record.
You want the map that Travis is talking about?
Yeah, that's it.
That's the map he's talking about.
Oh, the one with the yellow? Yeah, we've not seen any plan with that, and nor have I'm aware of any road going through there. To me, that, without looking at it, it looks like it's going right through the middle of the park.
No, it's up higher than the park. It's right even.
Sir, could you identify yourself for the record, your first and your last name?
Dave Wilkes, 451 High Road.
Yeah.
According to that thing there, it's going right through. It's tying in from the Smith Road, on Smith Road straight across. Longwood Way. It's right across from Longwood Way is where that road goes straight through. The concern that we have with that, yes, because it's in open land space. On High Road, where that road is going through, is exactly where Aaron's Holding purchased the 20 acres. Also, Aaron's Holding just bought the 20 acres at 135th and High Road. They had another guy that came in Tuesday, tried to buy my property out, and he's also tried to buy Kyle's out. Now, if he succeeds on all that, he will have a trucking terminal from Mobile's terminal on High Road all the way to 135th Street. Now, the guy's got it buried because Aaron's Holdings, which is in Romeoville, he has a trucking terminal there, is Veneer Transportation. And he's been down here to try to annex in before, and he's told Kyle and them that we should annex into Lamont because supposedly you guys told him you'll bring water and sewer to him. That's our big concern. We don't need, like you said, we don't need more trucking. And if that guy gets this in, because now he's under 3 different names pulling this stuff, and he does have a cold storage trucking terminal in Romeoville right now. The address of it is 1333 Abbott Road. If you, I'll give it to you afterwards or whatever else you want to know and find out about it. But he's trying to sneak in another trucking terminal in the area, which Citgo does own technically 6 acres, a 5-acre plot and a 1-acre plot on High Road. Now, if they don't want it in green space, I don't know what the problem is.
You have one more minute, sir.
That's fine. This is the land proposal map, future land map. Now, Romeoville has the whole area where you're proposing to annex into their annexation. They're also proposing to annex all the stuff behind Big Run. So I really don't know what's going on here, whether, you know, and here's the problem. Every time we call Citgo, Citgo tells us, talk to George. They don't want no part of this deal that's going through. We need to sit down from somebody from Citgo, Romeoville, and Lamont and find out what this green space really is. And the funny thing is where that road goes through, if you look at the aerial map, it's right where Citgo is doing all that dirt work back there. So somebody's trying to pull a fast one way or another.
Yeah, that's it, sir. Thank you.
Could I ask you where you got the map?
This map here?
No, the map of the road going through.
That's on the
That's-
2020.
That's your Lamont, it's on your agendas.
So, I can answer a little bit to this, because I was around for this and I was on the team. So this is the
2030.
the 2030, the comprehensive plan that we put together in 2030, as part of the.
What year did we put that?
In 2014.
Okay.
Okay, as part of the comprehensive plan, we went in, and that, if you notice on the top of it, it says generalized planned roadway.
Right.
So what was done when this was put together was it went in and said, this is an area in our strategic plan in general that we want to have, and the space was too big, so we dotted, if you notice, it's a dotted line.
Right.
It's a plan collected. So this was a plan thinking there could be some things that are developed out there that we would want to split the property up. That's all this was in 2014. This was put together before, you know, today was when we just passed the open lands, right? So this was, not that this space specifically is for open lands, I don't think this is the one of them, but the lands that we have for open lands, that zoning wasn't there. This area that you're talking, I think, was still in Romeoville at the time, in
Never was
2014.
in Romeoville.
The corner that we're talking about for
The
development?
corner on 135th
Yes,
is,
that-
but not next to Mobile.
Oh.
That's unincorporated Will County.
Okay. So that was the intent of this, was to kind of say there's gonna be a general grid system in there, right? If the property was getting developed. There was no, and you can, I'm sure you have it, there was no specific plan, which is why you see it as generalized plan, of a comprehensive plan that was put together in 14. So that, when you're looking for something, there's other things on there as well that was in the general plan for a strategic plan, which was the intent. There's arterial roads within the village that are already there, that are collector roads that we're looking for, when we put together the active transportation plan, right? It was there for a strategy. So I understand your concern, and I think it was valid to bring up the point on this map, but I think you also have to look at the intent of this map and when it was put together. We're in the middle of actually updating our active transportation plan, and some of those things like this would actually change with the development. There's nowhere in here that says,
I know it, but
That's
that's what
conceptual.
the problem is, because that comes out, just like this one from Romeoville, which came out before. My house and all the property down High Road, all the way even this up on 135th that you're trying to put the trucking terminal in there, the big one, is A1 agriculture, single-family homes. Now, lo and behold, they threw out another map, Romeoville threw one out. Well, it's just a tentative. But all of a sudden, my house, Kyle's property, everything else is
Yeah.
all in industry according to this one.
and what's,
And that's where it goes, they go, well, it was changed. You know, that's why I want to bring that road map up, and that includes Bell Road. My mileage is right there.
yeah.
That road that's cutting across Bell Road, number one, it's technically, it's in wetland, so you can't put it there anyways.
Right, and what year was that map put together?
Which one? This one?
Yeah,
Last month. This is Romeoville's map. If you want, I got a smaller copy of it, if you want a copy of that. But yeah,
They had one out for 20 years for that corridor also. A lot of these maps are conceptual.
this is the one that they just put out for 2023. Last month's meeting when I was down there, and that's the excuse they says, oh, well, that's all in industry. Now, all this here, and that comes up to another thing, because your boundary lines for, Lockport all end the end of next year, or, you know, next year. So technically, all this land that Romeoville's flag and everything else can all be up for grabs, and that's according to what the people from Lockport told me.
did we put together don't we have a agreement with Lockport? Intergovernmental agreement for boundaries?
We have an agreement with them, I don't.
I don't think it's like.
All right, Terry, thank you, though. Well, I mean, I think the takeaway here is that, I mean, that map is 9 years old, there's
I
nothing.
understand it,
yeah.
but that's why I wanted to bring it up.
No,
so
fair enough.
People see it, because
Fair enough.
otherwise it goes, oh, this has been in there for all these years.
Yeah.
Why didn't you say something before? That's my complaint, and you guys gotta stop this Boris trucking, because he wants to build all the way down High Road,
Okay.
and I know Sitco doesn't know about it.
And again, they've never come to us, they're not in our village,
Not yet.
we don't know.
They have came to you.
And you mentioned that, I don't want to debate it, but I
Ken
don't know.
said that he did talk to the guy before, last year.
Who said?
You?
I think Ken,
Me?
pretty sure.
Yeah, again, we
I haven't
can't,
talked to anybody.
people that do stuff outside of our
I was
village,
here at the
but.
meeting, you said, yeah, you did talk to him.
Who?
From LLD Transport in Romeoville, they wanted to annex into Lamont. They were,
I never heard
They
of
were at Lamont and they went to Romeoville.
Do you know his name?
They tried to annex into either one of these. They were-
Do you have a name for him, or
What's that?
do you know what's his name?
Aaron's Holdings is one of the, it goes under a bunch of names.
The person.
The persons that get, yeah.
Who's the guy you're talking about?
Aaron's Holdings,
No, what's his first and last name?
that's the company.
Oh,
Right, but
It's under LLD Aaron's Holdings.
do you know who the owner is of that?
It's hard to find out. I'll see if I can get it for you.
Well, all we can tell you is we haven't talked to him. So you say we did, we say we didn't. I think you got to trust us because no one knows who the guy is. So I know there's a lot of potential, rumors and, whatever you want to call it, new news, fake news, I don't know. But again, if they're not in our village, they can't get anything from us, and we've not talked to this gentleman. And this road, first I'm hearing about it, it happened in 2023, it's a conceptual line.
2014.
Or 2014, yeah. So, again, we're just trying to calm the waters so people understand that, what is knowledge and what is it? Because a lot of times, people get on social media and start, throwing things out there that, is it true? Is it 100% true? That's what we're trying to filter through is, some of the get a better understanding of the situation, I guess. I'll leave it at that, so. Mike, do you want to?
Do we have anyone else?
Hello. My name is Melissa Fisher. I am a 35-year, which is all of my years, Lamont resident. I do appreciate all of you taking the time to serve on this board. I know it is a lot of time, and your time is valuable. My time is also valuable. I'm choosing to spend it here to get on the record or whatever we need to do, to share my frustration with the correspondence practices of you all. Sorry. You just spoke about the misinformation being put out. I've seen information. I don't know what's misinformation and what's information until I go straight to the source to clarify that information, right? I saw lots of things on social media. I heard lots of things from my neighbors, particularly talking about the 135th Street information. I looked at Village of Lamont documents. I talked a little bit to George a couple months back. So I did some things. And it all sounded a little, that doesn't sound right. I like open areas. I want this. That doesn't sound right. They're going to waive taxes? No way. I got myself all excited, and I asked some questions. And I came to all 10 of you, and I asked those questions, and I was completely ignored. That was super frustrating for me who took my time. I will just pause really quick because I just looked at your board agenda that is posted right here, and right on there it says if you have questions you need to email vlamont at whatever. I don't see that email address on your website pretty much anywhere because I tried to send my questions to vlamont, I guess, but I didn't find that email listed. I found individual emails for all of you, including also adding the clerk, also adding George, I think was on the email, also adding as many people as I could find, zoning committee people maybe. I threw everybody on there. I got radio silence. Not one person responded to my email. I didn't even receive a, hey, your email went through. Hey, thank you for your time. Hey, you have a lot of questions. We don't really have all the answers to those right now. Hey, nothing. I got nothing. And that's super frustrating, especially when I was confused. I admitted that I was confused, and I admitted to wanting to find some factual information that you talk about. I'm running out of time because
That's okay.
it really, well, it bugged me that you just said that when that was my complaint, which is I tried to do that and I was completely ignored. It's also very irritating that I guess this is maybe misinformation or information, but I think someone else was trying to run for the board in the next election, and they were taken off of the ballot. You decided that they should be taken off the ballot so that I couldn't vote for them if I wanted, and you didn't even respond to my email. So I don't understand sorry.
Checked my past emails, went down. I couldn't find yours.
Okay.
I don't know about anybody else get her.
I don't know. Would anyone like to say that they did not
Are you
receive my email?
Melissa?
I am Melissa, and I sent an email the beginning of March. It might have been March 1st. I then resent my email 18 days later after I didn't receive a response, and I said, I think I'm being ignored. That's annoying. So I resent it on March
When you resent it.
20th, and I asked new questions.
Then George finally got
George,
hold of you.
yeah, George finally did then call me. He did call me. I did not get all of my answers even answered directly, but he, calmed me down. What I did not get an answer to, though, which I really would like, is what your communications policy is. All of the people in our community, I worked as a local government entity PR manager, and I got lots and lots of praise. I got lots and lots of questions. I got lots and lots of angry complaints. My job was to answer every single one of them, and if I did not do that, I would have been fired, number one. Number two, basic etiquette of responding to people is, hey, I don't know this one. You got this one? Okay, thanks. Or let me take this one, or whatever you're gonna do. I don't care what your policy is, but everybody should be on the same page. That's kind of basic, and especially when you have some things that are riling people up, it's a really easy way to be transparent and clear and honest and whatever. And it just goes back to, I'm sorry, but like, you really want to have this role, and then nobody wants to take the job of, I
Did
gotta.
George respond
Did George
on
get
behalf
back
of
to
the
you?
board to you?
George called me after my second email saying,
I didn't get the first, it was sent to everybody here, but I don't remember getting it. I checked my junk and everything.
I got the email and George did say he's gonna respond on behalf of the board.
well, George waited 18 days, 19 days, I guess, after I followed up, 19 days later. And then he did call me, yes.
Gotcha.
I'm
Did he
assuming
answer
that
your
response was in
questions?
response to the crazy follow-up, but yes.
So you're saying he did not address your questions?
At that time, he said, oh, I should have responded. I did not have my email of questions next to me at the time to say, can we talk about point A? Can we talk about point B? What I also did not receive yet is what the communications policy is. I did not end that call with him saying, hey, make sure you send me this. I could have. I can certainly resend my email and say, I'm still looking for the communications policy of what you all are following, but spending a lot of time on email lately. The other thing, too, is I also did let some of you know that your clerk email that's listed on the website is not working. It is bouncing emails back, so if anyone else is trying to contact you via that email, which is listed on the website, it does not work. I did tell, I sent that email twice saying this email is not working with 3 weeks in between. I'm sorry, I just wanted one other point that was not related to my emails, which I think I've beaten that point. Just to go back to what you're all saying about development and wooded areas. I know you're all doing your best, but if we could just, I really, really hate driving down the street through our town and seeing another area that's been leveled and is building another subdivision or another whatever it's building. I think open spaces are pretty and enjoyable and good, and once we lose them, we are never, ever, ever getting them back. So anything that you guys can do to hold on to as many of those as possible, please do, because when they're gone, we all know it. And we have plenty. We had a referendum because our schools couldn't even fit all of our kids, so we're good. We have enough. But yes, thank you for your time.
you.
I do appreciate it, and I'm sure you get tons of emails, but a common courtesy of even, oh, George will be in touch. You sent that to 10 people. It went through, and not cyberspace.
Thank you, Melissa. And George isn't here, so I'm not even gonna try and
I
talk
did,
on his behalf.
and I did speak to George. He gave me some information. Many of the questions that I was asking, I understand you don't have specific answers to at this time. So, I get that he couldn't give me all of the answers.
Yeah.
But, no one likes to.
Yeah. In general, George, staff is the responders of emails.
Sure.
They're the ones that read them. And so we'll talk to George and we'll make sure.
Yeah.
Melissa, do you want to just leave your card or information so we could, that way it's not lost in the shuffle?
Sure,
of
yes,
the-
yes. I
of the
will write
email
it down.
shuffle. I don't want another 18 days. but
I will write it down.
And again.
I think you all have
thank
it
you.
now, but I will write it down.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
though, appreciate it.
You know what, I'd like to address your email.
Please.
I'm not going to reply to someone that sends an email and accuses me of lying. That's why you didn't get a reply from me. So when we're in a situation where we don't have a development that's gone through this board, at least to me, and you say if I don't answer clearly and answer your question specifically, I'm lying, that doesn't warrant anything for me. I think that's disrespectful to me as a board member, and I can read it, I have your email open right here.
I was gonna pull it up too, yeah.
So I think it's disrespectful to me as a board member, especially since my time is basically volunteered here, and I'm not lying to this community, and I've never lied to this community. So,
Yeah, keep things, all right. You know, all right, okay, I know your time's up, but we heard you, Melissa.
You get people, I mean, saying that I'm just gonna ignore that response because it wasn't said how I wanted it is really, really poor serving, right?
you know what else
It's
is?
not great, it's not
Sending a first communication to somebody and telling them they're gonna lie before they can even reply to you, I think that's poor etiquette as well. So to ask me to reply to you on that, I think, and then we did have somebody come in and direct it to you to reply, and George did say he replied. So,
If you're referring to my first email, no one did reply.
George finally called you, right?
That is after my second.
Your first, okay, listen, your first email, do you want me to read you what it says?
Sure.
Okay, your first email. Separate question, if annexed, who is paying to run utilities to this area? If it's in any way a single dollar of taxpayer money, you should be making that clear, or it's dishonest and unwanted.
Yes. Yeah, so those were all, I'm saying, if
Yeah.
this development, all of the, I'm just telling you, this is what I'm seeing that people are talking about, and I'm saying, if I'm understanding what they're saying correctly, please tell me, confirm, correct me. If this is true, I mean, I did hear, like, yes, they want to run whatever, utilities, yes.
Yeah.
To this land so that it can be developed. That is exactly what I asked. If this is true, then you need to be, and it's not true because, well, maybe it is, but what I have heard from other people is this is many years out, right? So it has not been decided, which is a totally appropriate answer.
It hasn't come to this board yet.
I know, and I did not know that, and that is why I came to you and asked an answer of, we haven't seen this, we don't know yet, and that is something that George did mention. He said, you're seeing pictures from the developer. The developer is bringing those pictures to us so that we can even say, maybe, yeah, something. Then, later down the road, we would say, that building is too tall, you're gonna have to shorten it. I don't know the order of these things at all. I am only hearing other people's questions and comments, and I'm saying, what? There's no way, okay. Admittedly, and in it said, I don't know what I'm reading, I cannot make sense of any of this, and then I ask those questions. So for all of you to say, we're just going to ignore them, this person who is confused and misinformed, instead of using that as an opportunity to be transparent and say, we don't know any of this. It's kind of a teaching moment, number one, and number two, the job. I mean, that's very, very, very frustrating to then have heard that because of the way that I worded it, you said I'm not responding.
It's frustrating getting attacked on this board as well when people call you a liar.
Well, doing something like totally ignoring direct
Your-
questions supports what
your
everyone else
communication
is
wasn't
saying
ignored.
about your work.
Your communication got replied to eventually. We sent it through with George, and George sent a reply. George was late on his reply, but he sent you a reply. So I don't know why you keep saying that we didn't reply. You eventually got your reply, right?
Okay, so then that is why I'm here tonight, is looking for what your communication policy is, which obviously is responses that have gotten follow-up from your residents. As long as they are responded to within 3 weeks, we consider that appropriate. If that's your answer, then that's fine. But that's why I'm here and looking.
Melissa, again, George will follow up with you, and he will communicate that to you.
That's fine. One of the
Okay.
trustees is saying that it's totally appropriate to have a month-long wait or no response. So that's fine. It's all very clear.
Thanks, Melissa.
Now I know. Thank you.
Anyone else? I don't think we have anyone else online, Mr. Mayor, so that's the end of public comment.
Okay, all right. So, up next, we have no executive session?
No executive session.
All right, well, fairly short meeting tonight. So with that being said, we have no further business. Need a motion to adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion by trustee Kittredge, seconded by trustee Maher at 7:11. Roll call, please, Janet.
Yes, Kittredge.
Yes.
Maher.
Yes.
McClafferty.
Yes.
Shaughnessy. Snagowski.
Yes.
Stapleton.
Yes.
Yes, for Shaughnessy, sorry.
Thank you.
All right, with that being said, we are adjourned. I want to thank everyone for coming out this evening. I hope we've shed a little bit of light on this. I hope we can continue to keep the dialogue open. Again, George is not here to defend himself, and I just want to make sure that, everyone understands where we're coming from, and get out and vote. April 4th, everyone have a great week. Take care.